Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back to the breakfast show with myself and I don't know what this is, a co-host that does not exist apparently. So here we are. Here we are. Good morning to everyone joining. Another beautiful day here. We have, of course, people from my channel, people from the co-host that doesn't exist this channel. Good morning, new sub, love the analysis here. Thank you very much and welcome. So we have a couple of things to discuss today. We've got some Amazon news, some OpenAI news, and then I just found out some interesting things about Cotu's ranking. Oh, here, the co-host is actually co-hosting.
Of course, I'm actually co-hosting. I wanted to see how you did without me, Neil.
I think I did pretty well. Still have viewers.
Good. Good morning, good afternoon to all those watching. And Neil, I don't know where you were off, so I'll let you continue whatever
Still
amazing
in the good
thought
morning
process.
phase.
Okay, still in the good morning phase. So good morning to everybody, and yeah, a lot of interesting news coming out. I don't know where you stopped your good morning, so go ahead, Neil.
No, I was just saying what we will cover today. We've got some Amazon news, some OpenAI and Meta related news, which blew my mind. And then I've got here some Cotu Fantastic 40 portfolio ranking for 2030s, which was quite interesting. And then, yeah, we have the Fed meeting, but that's later today. So nothing that's going to impact the market in the next 2-3 hours or so. Currently, let's see. Currently, we have European markets that are down to flat-ish. Asian markets are about the same. Pre-market, we are actually green-ish.
So nice.
That's the
Neil, I know we're going to touch that Meta and OpenAI news. That is wild to me. I know we're going to talk about it, but I wish I was smart enough to be one of these crazy AI engineers, because then I wouldn't be here co-hosting with you. I'm sorry to say.
Smart enough, because they rejected the offer.
Yeah, that's the other truth. All right, so let's start off here with maybe Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon CEO had a pretty cool letter that he kind of shared to his team, but he also shared to the public. I don't know if you want to pull it up really quickly, but it did get me pretty excited overall for the AI space. Did you do a I did a video on it last night. I'm gonna guess you most likely have a video planned, or nope, nothing discussing it. So he kind of just shares his thoughts on AI, Neo, and kind of how this is one of those once in a lifetime technology that's happening, and it's very rare in technology. Obviously, once in a lifetime, it's already rare. And he talks about how Amazon is already using it for various things. He talks about Alexa Plus. I have yet to use Alexa Plus, but I don't know if anybody here on chats have used the new updated Alexa. If it's actually pretty cool. But they're also using how AI is helping with AI shopping assistance. It's helping with shopping features. It's helping independent sellers with like ads and descriptions to be able to sell better. And internally, it's also helping them in their robotics aspects, their logistics aspects. So they believe that right now we're still in the early innings. Of AI. And one of the things they're extremely bullish on, Neo, is agentic AI or agents, which is something that we've heard from all other companies, especially those kind of like NVIDIA's and AMD most recently, where AI agents. Here we go. First, we have a strong conviction that AI agents will change how we all work and live. Think of agents as some form of digital world. And right now, he mentions that we're only in tipping the tip of the iceberg here with AI agents, that it's going to start to explode into a massive market. And we've heard from company players like Jensen that thinking and AI agents require a lot more tokens, a lot more inference. So you're going to need a lot more AI chip and AI infrastructure. Obviously, all these big players are building their own type of AI chips as well. So it's not only going to be an NVIDIA and AMD market, but it does seem like it's going to be like a market for Marvell, for Qualcomm, Outchips, and all these other custom ASIC suppliers. So yeah, I mean, uh, unfortunately, he does say within here, Neil, that there is going to be a loss of jobs because of AI, and there's going to be a net gain of jobs as well. But he doesn't know which is going to be um, which one's going to net out over time. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be more the loss of jobs compared to the net gains of jobs. Um, in the form of a business standpoint, they do believe that they will gain massive efficiency and margins with these types of AI revolution. I mean, he just pretty much just said AI is real. We're investing heavily in AI. AI is going to change our business. And I mean, we've heard stuff like this, Neil, from your NVIDIAs and your AMDs. And with them, I feel like a lot of people are saying, of course, they need to say this. They need to say this because they need to sell AI chips. But where's the real use case? I think after reading this letter, if you don't see the real changes that AI is making in some of these businesses, then um, I don't know. I don't know what else can kind of change your mind about the overall AI landscape and how it's moving at such a rapid speed.
Yeah, it's funny because before, remember when this whole started, the topic was, okay, AI is great. It's not going to replace all the workforce. It's actually going to create more, and et cetera, et cetera. And now I think we're entering that phase where actually maybe we have to start admitting that, well, it is going to replace quite a lot of jobs. And I think, I mean, whoever thinks that's not going to be the case is not really paying attention. Now, it's true that thanks to that, other jobs will get created, other companies will get created, but I don't think we're going to see this balance out like a 50-50 or something like that. Because there are just plenty of jobs that, I don't know, an AI could just do better, can work 24/7, 365 days a year. So, yeah,
And
interesting.
yeah, and I would say, I mean, right, I think with this AI technology, unfortunately, at first, it seems like you had to sugarcoat it, like you mentioned, right, Neil. You had to say, oh, look, it's not about net loss, it's gonna create efficiencies, and you're gonna also get net gains in new jobs. I think this is one of the first few times from a really public CEO. I mean, I think we've heard it from Anthropic in the past, but Anthropic is not a public company. I don't think many people hear it. I know Anthropic has talked about how kind of entry level engineers and entry level positions are really starting to get impacted dramatically by AI players already, or AI agents. But now this time, finally hearing maybe not the most sugarcoat moment from a major CEO, I think it might hit a little bit different. But I mean, humans do innovate, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure um, farmers, when the whole industrial area lost jobs, but they found jobs elsewhere. So I still believe there is the probability that there could be net gain somewhere, right? There's new problems that need to still be solved, and now you have a cheap labor of a robot to be able to help you get your next goal or your next dream, hopefully in the next few years.
Yeah, yeah. Or people would just become super lazy, and it's only downhill from here, and AI takes over. Could could be. That's the bearish point of of it all. Um, I do want to share something that I saw this morning before we jump into the meta crazy stuff, and
Sounds good,
that's
Neil.
Kotu's next tech order. So this is their fantastic 40.
Mm,
So this is what they think the market cap will be of all of these companies by 2030. Now, I'm not sure if this is only companies that they own in their portfolio, or if they think this is just going to be the general ranking. Because if this is the general rank, maybe I could put this. Wait,
hmm.
let me put myself right here,
Ah,
so
bring
it's
the screen
better.
back, Neil.
Hmm.
Amateur hour here at the breakfast stream. This is what you get. You get corny dad jokes and horrible tech
Perfect.
guys.
Voila, much better, much better. It's the tornado before the storms and the tip of the icebergs and whatever we can come up with. So this is basically their ranking. At
Yeah.
number one, Microsoft, $5.7 trillion,
Mm-hmm.
which is still bigger than Nvidia. I found this already a bit questionable, but okay, we never know. Then at number three, Bitcoin at $5.18 trillion. I don't know what the price of Bitcoin has to be for it to
Yeah.
reach that
Same.
price,
I
but
don't know.
what are we today at market cap wise for Bitcoin?
Let's see. Market cap. Bitcoin. Boom. 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 Boom.
Probably over a trillion. Yeah, probably, yeah. Oh no.
I don't know. It don't. Market cap 2.0, about 2 trillion.
So Bitcoin today is $2 trillion. So Bitcoin today is worth as much as a alphabet.
Mm-hmm. Makes
Makes
sense.
sense. Yeah, makes total sense. Okay. Then we have Amazon, a huge jump down, 3.6%. And by the way, I don't know if you have noticed, but there is no Google or Apple in this list,
Oh, wow.
which, yeah,
They
which
think it's gonna
means
end, or they just is it again? I don't know if it's companies that they only own, um, only companies that they prefer. It might say it in that small text there. Um,
I assume it is companies that they own.
but regardless, what
Since
is Microsoft right now? So neither Microsoft or Nvidia they believe can double, but can definitely. I think that's still better market returns. In theory, if they reach those levels. Um, Amazon, what's Amazon's market cap? 2 trillion. Okay,
2
they don't
trillion, yeah.
expect. Yeah, they don't expect that one to double either. Um, Meta,
No,
what's Meta at?
1.6, 1.5.
What are you, a freaking AI? It's 1.7, but we're close enough.
Wow, pretty
Not
close.
double.
A
TSMC, I think,
hundred
is the
billion a year
only.
and not be there.
TSMC, I think, is the first one that they think might double, maybe even triple, because right now it has a market cap of about $900 billion, and they have about 2.8 there. So they believe TSMC can actually triple um, from the current. I think Tesla is a double at these price points. What's Tesla at?
Yeah, Tesla is definitely a double at these price points, according to them. not
Yeah.
according to. So I think it's companies that they own in their portfolio,
Hmm.
which makes more sense, but also explains the pumping of certain of certain
Certain
stocks, right?
names.
Certain
Yeah.
names. ARM $787 billion.
Hmm.
Currently, we're at 153, and it's trading at super high multiples, with still right now still no real big acceleration in growth. I don't know what's
By 2030, Dan.
yeah, this is 2030. um Palantir, half a trillion. We're not that far away from it anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. ServiceNow, Stripe, ASML, all half a trillion approximately. Intuitive Machines at 461. No, Intuitive Surgical, sorry. Intuitive Surgical is 183. So there is quite a lot of upside. Alibaba, quite also a lot of upside. Um, why does Shopify have a plus
Plus
sign?
sign. These people need to give us a legend. Yeah.
Maybe those are new companies that they added or
Is it
something.
Yeah.
Maybe. Mercado Libre, 300 billion. I think that's 2.5x from today or something like that. Maybe even
Neil,
more.
out
Yeah.
of random thought here, out of the ones that are private, I'm gonna guess are these the blue ones there, or
Yeah.
gray,
And private and crypto.
bluish. I don't know, whatever you want to call. Some people might say I'm colorblind here. Any of these do you think might go public in the next 5 years?
Revolut, for sure.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
one at the bottom. Um, Databricks, OpenAI, if they figure out how to become a for-profit officially. And then the rest, maybe Stripe, because that's an IPO that's been on the sidelines for
Sidelines.
the last 3 years, I think, 4
Yeah.
years. So probably Revolut, Databricks, OpenAI, and Stripe. All the
Yeah.
rest, I don't think they
Do you
want to go public.
do you think if OpenAI goes public, it opens up the world for the other AI companies to say maybe I should also go public,
Like the
especially if it goes
Anthropics and
well, like Anthropic or XAI.
does Elon want a second publicly traded company right now? I don't think
That
so,
is
right?
true. Yeah.
Um, I don't think so.
I guess as long as there's plenty of funding where it is in I think there's plenty of funding in the private market right now. I mean, we can sell it. We can tell it um, from the amount of money going into OpenAI and all these AI companies. As long as that stays like that, I think maybe they don't want to go public. Because it's like, I think going public, one of the main reasons is to kind of get a lot of the funding. But unfortunately, one of those con is you have to answer to investors. Um, I As long as there's plenty of funding in the private market, and they don't need to answer to the public space, I think maybe they stay off the IPO list.
Yeah, why would you go public,
Hmm.
face scrutiny and all of that if you can stay private, make money, and get even more money? Makes sense. Of course, if you want to cash out, then I guess being public helps, or being acquired.
Yeah.
So I don't know if all the others, right, the Anthropics, the Perplexities, and all of that, want to go public. Maybe they just want to be acquired, or maybe they just want to be private forever. Could be. Um, but yeah, any big surprises on? Okay, for those, just to be clear, I do think that this is just their own portfolio, so they're talking about the names that they own and not the ones that they don't. So the Google, the AMD as well. Some people are asking about where is AMD. I assume they don't own AMD. Shame on them, of course. They own
Shame
some
on
other
them, General.
garbage here, but they don't own AMD. So I assume it's their portfolio, and that's why. Any big surprises? Maybe things that you think should be higher, or maybe things that you think should be definitely lower.
I think in 5 years, you know what? I think Uber would be could be a double, and a double at current prices is around like a 350 um, market cap, and I think they only have it like a 280. And again, with Uber, it's very similar to what Amazon CEO was talking about. It's not just about kind of just a new form of AI solutions. It's just about the improving of efficiencies, and I think with all the kind of data that Uber needs to go through to make sure you have the perfect rider, to make sure you have the best person delivering the food, and anything else that falls into the logistics behind what Uber provides. I think AI itself has the ability to really increase things like free cash flow and just bottom line earnings without really even seeing much growth in revenue. Just the overall efficiencies, I think, can help out Uber dramatically. Uber was one that surprised me. It's the only one that I kind of really know their current market cap. The other ones I don't really follow too much. And Nvidia, I think Nvidia can actually be more than 5.6 in 5 years, especially if we do see this evolution in things like AI, agentic, and the upcoming robotics segment and healthcare industry. There's so many tailwinds behind Nvidia that um, even though it's a massive behemoth already, I think the market opportunities out there are still pretty high. The optionality is still pretty high.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a poll to see what the public is saying about all of this. But yeah, I don't know. I think Nvidia is probably going to be the number one by 2030. Um, Amazon, I think, could probably be worth more than four by then if
Hmm.
everything goes in the right direction. Um, but yeah, I don't know. There are
Yeah.
some names like Alibaba, I think, could go higher unless the market still underpriced them by 2030.
Yeah, we have some thoughts here. We have believe Anthropic could go public sooner as it has high enterprise business adoption. That is true. I think Anthropic is really focused on the enterprise space. Evil Fandango going public could fund a moon base for OpenAI. The next Stargate would at the moon has a good ring to it. Um, Matthew says OpenAI will be the biggest IPO of all times. I do think so. I think this the excitement of OpenAI would make it one of the craziest IPOs ever. Um, I also want to see Matthew. Matthew mentioned he is a new Oracle owner. Matthew was posting on my channel, says that he's pretty excited about the Stargate push that Oracle is really moving into. Matthew, I also saw you were very bullish on Amazon. If you do enter into Amazon, are you planning on selling some of these other players for an Amazon position as well? And any questions you have here, Neil, that you wanna um, talk into?
No, where's this graphic from? From Cotu's own presentation. They have, I think, I don't know. Let's see how much assets they have.
Yeah, I've never heard of them. The only reason I've ever heard of them was because of this slide.
Really?
Have you? Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes
No, you've probably seen, I think, one of the founders talk in one of the podcasts or maybe post something because they do talk a lot about tech. They've been on some podcasts talking about NVIDIA AI and stuff like that. Founder
yeah.
is Philippe Lafont. Um, so yeah,
Let's
that's where
see.
it comes from. The fund is worth, I think, anything between 70 to 100 billion, I think, or something like that right now.
Can't say I know the guy. Can't say I've seen him.
Uh, yes, no.
But what else do we have here, Neo? Vinvin mentions OpenAI is impressed by the MI 400 Helios rack. I think so, right? I also wonder, Neo, do you sometimes
Booking, yeah.
booking holding? Do you sometimes think that maybe it's also like a strategic move for these players to go to some of the competitors to maybe scare Nvidia to maybe give better pricing? Or do you think stuff like that is too evil thought process and doesn't go through a lot of these minds? Like OpenAI saying, "Hey, look, I'm actually pretty impressed by the MI 400." Do you think it's like a small shot at Nvidia saying, "Look, you're not the only player in town anymore. Make sure to give us better pricing"? Or do you think there's just pure excitement for the MI 400 and no double meaning behind it?
I mean, if I'm putting myself in their shoes, I know very well. Like OpenAI knows what value NVIDIA brings to them. So they cannot like lie and say, oh, AMD has this, so you should be scared and lower your prices, because NVIDIA also knows what they offer. So I think this is probably them just saying, look, actually, the MI400 is good enough for us. It delivers on what we need. The price is fine. So TCO for us makes sense. And that's why we are willing to invest in that and buy their products right now. That doesn't mean that they're suddenly going to say go to Nvidia and say, oh, we are going to leave you if you don't lower your prices, because probably Nvidia is going to say, you know what, you can try, you can try, but you're not going to be the number one anymore, because the others are probably still going to pay us the big bucks and get everything they need. Plus, I mean, if we go and look, if we believe the betting markets, right, on Polymarket, I think Gemini 2.5 Pro is still the number one by far, the number one model out there by far. So, yeah, does that mean much? Because OpenAI does get a lot of attention, is getting that major adoption, I think, in the UAE, right? They're getting OpenAI Plus for free. And they recently won a $200 million, I think, government contract, if I'm not mistaken. So they're definitely yeah, the first mover advantage, I guess, is here a big aspect of it all. But then you have Alphabet with Gemini, with Google, that can still deliver their product to the masses. We'll talk a bit about Meta, because I do think that Meta still has a big card to play in this whole story, despite maybe them being a little bit behind right now, especially after that Llama 4, let's call it, failed launch, maybe unsuccessful launch, should I say.
Yeah,
So
agree, Neo. And we can jump into that. I just want to kind of just share some thoughts. So Max believes that's not the way it works. In my opinion, it's just real excitement. I actually do believe it's more like that. It's just a kind of topic I've been hearing a lot about, Neo, so I want to bring it up here. Let's see what else we saw. Someone was talking about Intel really quick. Neo, I don't know if you
who's talking about Intel? Who? Find him.
Vin, is Intel giving a chase, or they still prefer CPU on laptop and desktop? Vin, are you talking about a chase in kind of like the AI accelerator market? I think they're trying to. I mean, they still have kind of that acquisition with, I forget what the company was called, but they have their Gaudi 2, Gaudi 3, and they're supposedly eventually working on some form of AI accelerator, but it's still there. I think Intel really is focusing right now more the CPU, gaining back market share, stopping the bleeding of market share from AMD, and focusing a little bit more on a lot more on the manufacturing side. I think those are its two core products. Then with the new CEO, Liputan, he did add that third excitement on an whole AI ecosystem, or kind of scale solution that we see NVIDIA do. AMD recently announced with kind of that CT play, and eventually I think we'll hear that from Intel. But it seems, at least in forms of technology, especially in the AI accelerator, it's lagging pretty bad, Neo. Any thoughts there? And I know we were supposed to jump into something else, but here with Intel, I don't know if you saw the reports that Intel is planning on laying off about 15 to 20% of factory workers, which I found some interesting, because if we're really expecting the manufacturing side to be the bullish case, why would they be laying off the factory workers? And these are just based on reports, and Intel hasn't confirmed. I'm pretty sure you're Googling it real quick, Neil. So while you're Googling it, I'm going to keep talking to give you a few times to read, a few minutes to read the overall thoughts, and then you can share things. But I found that pretty interesting that Intel, one of their biggest bullish case right now is the manufacturing side. But if you're telling me you're letting go of manufacturing workers, I see that as somewhat of a yellow flag, especially since we've heard from companies like TSMC and Intel that the type of talent that manufacturing business needs is pretty low. So why would you get rid of this talent that's already pretty low, unless maybe you're not seeing the type of growth you might be expecting? All right, now I think I talked enough for
Yeah,
you to read.
yeah. So a couple of things. Going back to first the AMD thing, because Max did um, write something. So yeah, the excitement is real, but I don't think there's that leverage. Like, oh, we're going to AMD just because we want Nvidia to give us better pricing. Don't forget, OpenAI did participate in the development or the design of an AMD's chip, which makes it even more appealing for them, I believe. Not just the pricing, but the fact that they participate in the development of that. Um, it did talk a little bit here about Google search. So yeah, how about all the people that still use search? Google can easily trick them into Gemini. Don't forget that search is now powered by Gemini, so they're essentially all using it right now. So there is that. Then Intel. I do think Intel will focus still more on the CPU side, on making sure that AI on device is where they have where they see their strength, right? Because they know they're behind on all the rest, so they might as well focus on devices, whether it's laptop, PCs, um, and the rest. So it makes sense. That doesn't mean that they're not going to work on GPUs, data centers, and all of that. So that's that part of it. Then on the I'm reading here that report that Intel is planning to lay off up to 10,000 factory workers in July. Now, I don't know which factories those are going to be, right? Because if those are the factories where we are expecting 18A, right, the Intel Foundry business to thrive, then yes, this is, I'd say, even more than a yellow flag. But if this is just factories that might have nothing to do with the next gen of Intel Foundry, then I guess this is Lip Bhutan's way of saying, you know what, we just have too many employees. With or without them, we'll continue to do what we have to do. And so this is just a necessary cut. Now, I don't know if it's going to be 15, 20%. I'm seeing here different type of numbers, but layoffs are definitely coming at Intel, that's for sure. He's been saying that for a while. So I'm not that surprised. Not that surprised.
Yeah, agree, Neil. I'm not surprised overall about the word cuts because that's something that's coming, and I think maybe these numbers might be a little bit balloon. And it's pretty interesting for them to say the word factory instead of fab. So it doesn't. We can also be talking about some other types of stuff out there. I know Intel is focusing in other solutions as well, and maybe Evil Fandango says maybe robots will replace them. I mean, I heard TSMC that there's a lot of automation that happens now in chip manufacturing, but there's still a huge need for talent there. So it's something I think it's gonna be a question during earnings a month and a half from now, Neil. Because if we're seeing layoffs in the manufacturing side, I think even though I'm not an Intel investor, as an Intel investor, I would want to know what type of factory it is, and does it change the way um, that they're seeing the demand for things like 18A, or is this something that we had to completely separate and it's not tied together?
Yeah, and just so we're clear, most of these advanced fabs are highly automated, right? So when we talk about robots will replace them, robots are already doing. It's not humanoid robots, but the machines can be considered as robots today, whether it's in fabs, in Tesla factories, you name it. Most of the machinery can be considered robotics already today. Because everybody is talking about, oh, robots will replace them. Humans nowadays don't do that much anymore in manufacturing of big things, right? Manufacturing of cars, you don't see a human take a door and put it in that exoskeleton of a car. It's a machine that takes the door, puts it inside, and then the human just puts in maybe the last couple of things. But that's about it. We do have a comment here from X, from Caffeine Capital. Very good account there on X, and thank you for actually chatting through X.
Appreciate that. It's very rare to see any comments on X.
One of the few. One of the few. Ticker tactics. My French comments aren't getting noticed. What gives? It is getting noticed, but we are always jumping from one topic to the other, so can't always touch on that. But you are getting noticed. Don't worry about that.
Don't you worry, Ticker. Um, We have another few questions here I wouldn't mind talking about before we move on. And again, many people are saying if they are overstaffed and overspending on extra workers, it makes sense to be more efficient and reduce headcount. Yeah, so I agree. This is true if this is the case, right? I think, and is the overstaffing not due to lack of demand, but maybe due to a older generation of node that might not be seeing the demand that they want, and which is okay. But if it's something that deals with maybe the current 18A, then I think that's something that needs to be answered. Um, Christian wants to know: did you take a closer look at Adobe? Um, I think that is that from your channel or my channel, Neil. I think that's
I
your
don't know,
channel.
but today we did not talk about Adobe. I think we talked about Adobe when they reported earnings, and maybe even yesterday or 2 days ago,
Yeah,
if
and
I'm
and
not
I'm
mistaken.
working on a video. I think I've said that in my channel. I don't know if Christian might be wondering that, but this is a video I'm working on. So should be having something either today or tomorrow on a closer look at Adobe. But staying here with Adobe Neo, we have someone mentioned Adobe is a buy for them. I mean, I think in forms of PE ratios. I mean, we look um, forward PE ratios. This one is a bit interesting. Not sure why they haven't not updating here right now. Neo and
Probably because um, of the new refresh of the platform might be the case. Yeah, might be the case. Because
case.
if you don't know, well, you know, but maybe the viewers don't know. The platform, our partner, has changed name. It was
Yes, they
previously
did.
FinChat. It is not now called, as you can see up there, Fiscal AI. So same platform, different name. Fiscal AI was previously FinChat. And yeah, still our partner. And you can still use our link in the description and in the pinned comment to get 15% off their platform. We've been showing off the platform for a while now. So yeah, pretty big news. I think they also raised $10 million Series A. So big things are coming for Fiscal AI, previously FinChat.
Definitely, definitely. And then Anonymous Goose thoughts on GitLab seems undervalued now, although retention level diminished. It's diminishing a little bit. It's still, I think, over 120%. I think we looked at that, Neo. Um, and yeah, I mean, I like it. Anonymous Goose. I've actually increased my position a little bit throughout the past few days. It was already a big position, so it's not like I increased it dramatically, but I didn't mind dollar cost averaging down a little bit. So I'm excited for GitLab. And Lisa is here. Nia, we forgot to welcome
Lisa in the
Lisa.
house.
Yeah.
Lisa in the house. Good morning. Good morning. I'm getting called out by clickbait here. First of all, I did not say that Google will not exist by 2030. Cotu's top 40 rankings did not include Google in their top by 2030. Just turns out that they're only ranking companies that they own. So, voila.
Wait,
It's not.
what did you say, Neil? What were you clickbaiting? My
En
goodness.
en plus,
Yeah.
talking French here. It's not even clickbait if it's on X because you don't have to click on anything. It's a post. But I'll show you. It's basically this. Sorry
Oh
to
my
break to you,
god.
according to Cotu will no longer exist in 2030. Because they don't really make it very clear that this is the companies that they own, unless they wrote it in their slides, which are not available to me. So it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. If that's clickbait, that's clickbait.
Yeah, but you don't have to click on anything.
Stop not baiting or whatever. Christian, don't worry. I follow both of you. Appreciate the follow, Christian. Appreciate it. Um,
So
I
yeah,
just want to
you asked a
say
question.
I saw this. Russell, I live with my father. Sadly, passed away yesterday. Just want to say thank you for your work. It really helps and appreciate you both. Russell, so sorry for your loss.
Yep.
I'm happy
Our
Neil and
condolences.
I can at least help out a little bit. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing, and best of luck to you and your family for sure.
Yeah. Strength, love. hopefully more happiness in the future for sure.
Agree. Lisa says she's awake. Good morning, Lisa. Um, we have Dan saying AMD CEO in the chat. Of course, that's how we run it around here. Um, it's Lisa normally sleeping at this time, working nonstop at AMD, probably. Um, let's see. Did any of you guys buy? Tristan wants to know how many shares did you buy in Oscar? Did you get into this, Neil?
No, I covered it yesterday for the first time on the channel, so did not buy yet. It's very interesting and tempting, um, but did not buy yet because I don't know. It's the industry is very complicated. It did jump yesterday, so we'll see. Plus today,
Yeah.
as you know, today I am according to you, I am bearish on the Fed meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh
we
yeah, I
might get
forgot
a
you said market was going to be bearish today.
we probably will not get a cut. Let's be honest, we're not getting a cut today. But let's see.
Um,
Let's see.
and before we continue, Neil, I just want to keep show the love that the community is showing Russell, and just hoping the best. Condolences. So appreciate the community for watching out for each other. So thank you guys for joining us, and for sharing some of the stuff that happened. Hopefully we can help out. And again, appreciate the community for sharing love to Russell.
Yep.
I didn't even know there was a SLDE IPO. It seems like IPOs are starting again. It's becoming popular again. And I don't like when IPOs become popular again.
What is that? SLDE? It's probably
I
not.
don't know. Let me Google it before
Is it
it's.
this slide insurance? Probably because there's nothing available.
And Coast and Shore Slide. Yeah, Slide IPO news. Slide prices upside IPO at $17, the high end of the range. It seems like it's a fintech market type IPO month, year,
Yeah. Or there were
or what?
already a couple of IPOs, but we were just not paying attention because it wasn't that interesting. Like this slide insurance holding is not that interesting, right? Well, we were never going to pay attention to that one if nobody had mentioned it.
That is true, Neil. That is true. It's
A
the egg
circle,
before the chicken, or which one comes first?
yes, the sun before the rain or the rain after the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Russell, you're
Yeah,
saying thank you all. I don't want to derail the discussion. You do not derail the discussion. We
no,
do that on our own, very professionally.
professionally do it our own. Yeah.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. And you'll understand this. At least we saw together Crystal Palace win the FA Cup together. Exactly. And I do believe that Crystal Palace are playing against Chelsea the first game of next season. So we'll see each other in August.
Let's see. And I'm looking here at Slide, right, Neil. It sees your home insurance. It's Slide Insurance. Just it looks like I'm looking at what's that other company out there? There was like a AI insurance company. Man,
Which
it was
one?
super popular.
Lemonade?
Lemonade. The website reminds me a little bit of a Lemonade website. That's the only thing. I don't know how familiar, but just the website gives me that aesthetic look of Lemonade Insurance.
Let's see. Yeah, Lemonade has done very well in the last 12 months. I remember it going every single time, like from $12, $13 back to 20, back to 12, 13, back to 20. It was a good trading period. But now I see we're back closer, getting closer to $40 at the moment. Still very small, $2.7 billion in market cap. Of course, still no PE at the moment, but it is getting better and better every single quarter. Another insurance company was Root, and they've Root, yeah, I think so. They've been doing very well. I mean, the performance of the last 12 months up 208%, over the last 3 years up 480. Also, market cap approximately the same here. There is a PE, but it's not that stable, I'd say. And then the last one is I think Hippo, if they're still public.
Wait, what is
Yeah,
this list you're going over, Neil?
just the insure tech companies.
Oh.
I don't know. Since we're
Gotcha,
talking about this
gotcha.
slide thing, then I
Uh,
guess I'll put this one. Hippo is still under a billion. Interesting. We do everything here on this show. We do everything, my
yeah,
friend. We do
yeah.
everything.
I'm looking here, Neil. Supposedly, based on some website, in 2025, we've already had about 152 IPOs.
Hmm. How many of them are already delisted?
A lot of them are a good amount of them I see, right? Because it even gives me like it even shows kind of like the. Let me just share the. Let's see. Actually, I don't know. I don't want to share this one. It looks pretty weird. Um, but yeah, I mean, just this month we've had a few. We had Arrow Group, Blue Acquisition, a Best SPAC acquisition. So it seems like the SPAC market
Ooh,
is
that's a
coming
bad
back.
sign. Bad sign.
Best SPAC acquisition corp just landed. Chime, um, Vantage Corp, Voyager Technology, Blue Water acquisition. So I'm guessing another SPAC. Um,
Yeah. Signs of the
707
top.
came in. Yeah. Omada Omada Health, Circle Internet Group. Is that Circle? Yeah. Okay. Chime and Circle. Yeah,
Circle
those are the
Internet.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of SPAC names came out. Now I'm curious. Out of these 152, I think at least
Hmm.
half in the past few months have been just a form of a SPAC play.
Hmm. Yeah. So not that great. Yeah.
No, not that great.
J. Powell speaks. So the FOMC meeting, the outcome will be announced at 2 p.m. Eastern, and he speaks 30 minutes later or so, later today.
Man, I don't know why. At random thought, I'm hungry. I'm starving. I just had to share that. I don't know. I'm sorry, but Tristan, Jose, did you open up a position in Marvell? So I do have a position in Marvell already. I
Really?
did buy, yeah. So Neil, Neil here, busting me here, but I do have a position. My thoughts were of adding to that position, and we haven't talked about it, Neil. But I think their Marvell event went actually pretty really good. Um, I wonder if you go to their slide, go to their thingies. Maybe we can even pull up their slide. Yeah, they have the slides there actually pretty good here on Fiscal AI. Um, maybe if you can download it so we can see it, because sometimes for me the full screen on my computer gives me some loading errors. I'd rather download it sometimes. Um, but they overall increased the total addressable market, Neo, in yeah, download the slides. They increased the total addressable market of the AI space, and their numbers are lining up to what NVIDIA and AMD shared. Um, I don't know if we all remember, NVIDIA mentions that there's about a $1 trillion capital expenditure expected by 2028. And they even break it down here, Neil, of how they think it's going to happen. Um, and so here, yeah, okay, starting here. So here, calendar year of 2025, we're going to expect 327 in capital expenditure. Remember, not everything is AI infrastructure. Obviously, Amazon is the biggest, but it does deal with other logistics that it needs to handle. If you go to the next slide, Neil, I think they kind of forecast other players that are going to come out here and spend into this capital expenditure. They talk about your model companies, your applications like Tesla and Apple, and then your sovereign AI. So then they start to actually add this to that capital expenditure coming up. If you keep going down, sometimes so here now, this is the new capex that they see for this calendar year. It jumped by about almost 200 billion, I think, Neil, just by adding your Teslas, your Apples, your Stargate, your OpenAI, your XAI, and what other type of sovereign AI and model companies are out there. So this is why, Neil, I think it's super crucial that we no longer just need to focus on capital expenditures. We need to on the big four. These other big players put together make up a nice amount now. So it's like, sure, maybe your Amazon might not be spending as much, but what is your Tesla doing? What is your Stargate doing? What is your CoreWeave, your Nebius, your all these other players doing? So it's, in my opinion, no longer a market of the top four. It's a bigger market. And here we can see they expect this to reach about $1 trillion by 2028. Very similar to what NVIDIA gave us in their presentation during GTC. Then they kind of break it down more into, yes, not the whole $1 trillion goes to AI chips, and they go down. And this is their original total addressable market for Marvell in their last AI events, 2024, 75 billion. They actually expect it to be much larger. They updated for the same year. It's not for the next year, it's for the same year. They updated to 26% larger due to, most importantly, the two biggest markets that they see the biggest growth are accelerated custom compute, which they see 53%, and that interconnect, which they do provide a lot of networking solutions and to help kind of connect these eight XCUs to other type of products out there. What's going on, Martin? Then, Neil, I think they break it down even more. So here they talk a little bit more about their total addressable market. Again, they break it down here a little bit more. They kind of talk about how the custom XPUs. Now, what's becoming more important is these XPUs. You start to use some form of special networking solution, and you start to attach them with different things, scale up fabrics, with memory poolers, with expanders, co-processors, and the list goes on. And that's the bigger opportunity that's happening here as this massive scalability is entering the AI space. I think they even give us another slide of just the total XPU has become, keep going. They talk about hyperscalers. They actually even talked about their Amazon showed up here, and they just said they just have a good long-term relationship with them. Again, no full numbers. Let's see. Why they win is they do a full approach here. They do the system architecture, the design, the services, the packaging, and the manufacturing. Some players only do one or the other. The only two, Neil, that really kind of do this much in the full service are Broadcom and Marvell. Some of the other players, they say they're ASIC, but they don't do one of these solutions. And if they don't do one of these solutions, obviously it means the customer is doing that solution themselves. They're already focusing here on 2 nanometers solutions, which is pretty good. They're already working on some form of advanced packaging designs as well, which is great for the way the AI market is going. Again, here we can see that partnership. I think they can't really say, Neil, but they want to throw these subtle messages that, look, everything is okay between AWS and Marvell. The custom and networking solutions. They also kind of saw the CEO at AWS kind of just expand onto this market. Microsoft, I haven't looked at that one too much. I got to watch the video, but I'm trying to find the slide, Neil, that they kind of break down a little bit more of the total AI. I think it's the next one. Nope, the next one. Nope, never mind. I guess they never had it, but I thought they tell us that the overall. Okay, yep, it's gonna be the next one. I think it's the next one. So here we go. Yeah, so the data center capex is about $1 trillion, right, Neil? The equipment capex, excluding physical infrastructure, is about 825 billion. The semiconductor total addressable market is about $500 billion for 2028. This is the exact number that actually AMD has given us on their presentations. So we can see three big players probably using the same data sets, but at least we get to break it down a little bit more to see how the overall cost goes. And within that semiconductor total addressable market, the accelerated compute TAM, which is what I think here they're only talking about kind of like GPUs, where AMD talks about FPGAs, CPUs, and everything, which is that 500 billion. They believe the accelerated compute TAM is about 350 billion. So I really like the presentation, Neil. I think they shared a lot of great information, and it actually them increasing their total addressable market by 2028, seeing the great relationships with Microsoft and Amazon. I got a little bit more bullish on this company. I haven't bought any. I'm still debating. But I'm happy with the shares that I own. And now it's up 4.3% because I just talked about it. It seems it was only at $70. I am the market mover here in the semiconductor space. But yeah, I can see this being a major player with a market cap of $60 billion right now.
Yeah, it seems like our show is getting some traction if we are moving $60 billion companies up 4.3%. Not bad. Not bad at all. question here, guys, is Nebius price overvalued right now? Um, no, I don't think so. It doesn't mean that it's not expensive. I just don't think it's overvalued. I don't know what the stock is doing at the moment. Let's see. Yesterday it was down 4.2%, but it's still flat, so we're still at $48. So yeah, nothing much. Nothing much has changed for them at the moment. Well, for the stock at the moment, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Meta? Because I think
Meta
that was
platforms.
the topic of the live stream. And 55 minutes in, I guess it's a good time to start talking about it.
Well, for me, my title was about Amazon and Marvell. So I
Ah,
mean, I don't know, Neo. It seems like you're slacking.
yeah, but if you keep on talking for an hour about Marvell,
All right, what's going on
uh,
with Meta, Neo? What's going on with here?
so apparently there was that report that came out that said that OpenAI employees rejected, or Sam Altman said that OpenAI employees rejected $100 million offers, signing bonus
100
from,
million, not billion.
did I say billion?
Yeah, you said billion.
Billion, million. Same, but different. um, which which is crazy. I mean,
Thank you,
I
thank you.
under I understand.
Mhm.
Let me pull this up because it's even more dramatic when you see it.
When you see the face, yeah.
So Sam Altman says Meta offered $100 million bonuses to OpenAI employees. I mean, you have to be
A crazy
either,
nut to say no.
yeah, either you're already super rich because you have so many
Yeah,
shares of OpenAI and you think
that's
it's
the other
going to
thing.
go
Yeah.
public,
Hmm.
but maybe you are still don't understand that OpenAI is still a non-profit, so I don't know how those conversions are going to happen. But okay, never mind. Or you just maybe you hate Meta. I don't know. That's
Hmm.
also an option. But I don't know. $100 million in bonus. It's not even a salary. It's just a bonus. It's insane. It's insane. Which, I mean, now that we know this, the $14 billion Scale AI, let's call it acquisition,
Hmm.
makes sense then. I mean, it makes sense from their point of view. Because if they were willing to pay $100 million in bonuses for OpenAI employees, well, get 49% of a fast accelerating AI startup, get their founder and CEO,
Hmm.
and then maybe let him poach talent. I don't know, because
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Neil. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. If you want.
yeah, okay, no, because I mean you're getting Scale AI CEO for a couple of $1 billion. I assume you want him to start poaching talent from other AI startups to join his team at Meta, because otherwise, what's the point? Um, but yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is with a lot of these bonuses, right, Neil, they tend to be kind of something that gets accredited over time. So it's a great way for them to make sure you don't move out in X amount of years. So it's like, yeah, it's about $100 million bonus, but it's going to be through accredited stock-based compensation or whatever throughout the next 6-7 years. Um, so I guess that's the first thing, right? It's not. I don't think it's always going to be a direct. I think it's going to be more just. And the other thing, like you mentioned, I wonder how much ownership or whatever you can have with OpenAI that they are just that crazy rich and they still rather wait that time to make sure they get that full positions or that full bonus that they might be getting from OpenAI right now. But it's crazy to see engineers are and AI scientists are getting $100 million bonus offers. That's wild. I'm not going to show my wife to this because then she'd be like, "Why don't you go back to engineering and do all this AI stuff?" Because I'm not smart enough,
Well,
honey. I'm not smart enough.
Depends what type of engineer you are. And second of all, I thought engineers were getting replaced by AI, but apparently they're getting $100 million bonuses these days. So what gives?
What's the real answer, right, Neo?
Yeah. So I mean, are you paying 100 million to an AI? So it's basically money laundering here.
um,
Uh,
but yeah,
AI
and I
washing.
think this was interesting because we just got that we talked about it a little bit in the beginning, or a lot of it, with the Amazon CEO. It seems
Mhm.
like everybody's really trying to scramble here with this AI space. I mean, we see Amazon saying that they're going to continue to invest heavily. They're very bullish in AI agents. Now you have some of these other big players, OpenAI and Microsoft are actually having tensions reportedly. I think it was the information about this whole transaction of from public to not public, or whatever they're going, from profit to not, from non-profit to some form of profit. I forget what the actual name is, but it's a little bit between non-profit and for-profit. But there's some
From a
tensions there as
scam to
well.
no scam.
From from a little scammy to a little bit more scammy. But there's these massive tensions happening, and I think the only reason you see this tension is because there's a lot of stress in the AI space, and stress usually comes, in my opinion, from competition, and kind of trying to make sure you're the best player in this space. And you see it with Amazon, you see it with now OpenAI and Microsoft, and you're also seeing it with OpenAI and Meta doing all these acquisitions. So it's starting to get pretty stressful here in this AI space, it seems.
Yeah, stressful, interesting. Um,
And hopefully
I
money for investors.
exactly, but I do have that there was something from AMD that came out actually yesterday, and it's not the Amazon rumors; it's the Microsoft one
But not rumors, Microsoft news.
announcement. Yeah,
Yeah.
uh, here it is. Share
Hmm.
this tab instead.
God,
So,
how far out zoomed were you, Neil?
because for some strange reasons, you have to zoom out to see the bookmarks on X, like the logo for the bookmark
Oh,
only
I
only pops up.
yeah.
It doesn't pop up here. It only pops up if you zoom out enough.
How about if you click the settings?
Yeah, but why should I go to settings?
Because you're
Like
gonna be on scrolling. I mean, that's good. That takes you probably as long as
no.
doing that. See, you still got to do it. Then you got to squint your eyes.
No, but do you see why do I need all of these unnecessary things? Like why do you need X Premium here? Why do I need community? Like bookmarks is the number one thing. Like it's very easy to use, and yet it's not here on the site. Valuation of $100 billion makes no sense here. Anywho,
Hold
um,
on. I missed the question. Feel free to ask it again. I'm a little
how to
too
get
lazy
my
to scroll
query
up right
and
now.
my query answered like we're Google search.
Like we're AI. We're AI. Mm-mm. I'm
um,
still inferencing.
yeah, yeah. Repeat. Maybe it's this question.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't follow any of those.
I'm
I'm a
sorry.
bad AI.
I am still a
I'm
learning
sorry.
model. um, Sentinel One is cyber, and Coupang is a South Korean
I knew that
Amazon.
much, Neil.
Okay, but apparently not.
um,
Apparently, you are lazy AI. You rather just say, "I'm sorry, I don't know much," instead of giving me half answers, hallucinations.
um,
um, I actually like Coupang. I actually like Coupang. I think it's still one of those companies. Wait, let me make sure to see. It's still under $30, like $50 billion in market cap. Um, we'll probably we'll have a look on Fiscal AI in just a second. Um, First, let's touch on this announcement from Xbox yesterday. They announced that they're building the next generation of Xbox
wait, Neil.
first party.
The way we switch topics really quickly is horrible. We got to get better. All right, go back.
Yeah, because you just popped up that comment.
Um,
uh, People would pay a lot of money to watch this show on live TV. I'm certain. Um, because apparently I'm also very good at clickbaiting, even though it's just a post on X. But okay. So
Back
Xbox,
to the topic, Neil.
The weather today is 45 degrees. Uh, Xbox announced that they're building the next generation of Xbox first party devices and cloud, including future Xbox consoles together with AMD. So it seems like AMD is keeping those gaming wins, right? Because even today they're ready at PS and Xbox. I'm not even going to read that comment because I'm busy. I'm busy working here. So it seems like AMD keeps winning the console games,
Mhm.
the console companies, whether it's Xbox or PS. Because we did talk last week about the
Mhm.
Xbox handheld device
Yeah. Um,
running on AMD. So yeah, there it's featured.
You want anywhere you want. That's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, hand.
It's this one right here. It
mhm.
seems.
Yeah.
Um,
One's the extreme version and one's the non-extreme version.
yeah, so here we have the AMD,
Let me see.
one. What is this? No. Do you own an Xbox or a PS?
I own. I forget. Not the new generation. I think I stopped with the generation before that.
But
Um,
Xbox or PS?
I owned both, but I think I'm more of an Xbox guy. But I
And just
lately
like
I've been.
that, we are ending the live stream.
Are you a PlayStation guy, Neil?
Of course.
Ah, but
Only. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean, I
only.
feel lately I've been more of. I mean, I obviously I wish I could game more, but I did get the. I do like the handheld. I enjoy it because I don't have to come to the computer and turn things on. So
Which
I do
one?
have the Asus
Ah, okay.
Ally, the original non Xbox version of it. Um, but I think I'm gonna pick up the Xbox one for the 2 minutes of gaming I do per month. I'm
Hmm.
gonna spend a few $100s.
To me, the best handheld was the PlayStation Portable, PSP. I think from 20, it's now 20 years old.
Yeah.
So good.
All right.
So,
And
so good.
we do have some questions here. So we did see that the Xbox news related to the topic, Neil, because we like to stay on topic, are related to
Hmm.
the topics. This Xbox news didn't really push AMD much, unfortunately. I think Neil, main reason is the gaming market is still pretty small compared to the rest of the market. I think the rest of the space for AMD is much excited about obviously the MI350s, the MI400s. I think right now most of the excitement is going to be focused on that. Regardless, Neil, things like this is if you have now Microsoft mentioning they're working on uh their a new generation of console, right? So the next Xbox, whatever. They're working on a handheld device. They're saying it seems like they're trying to make Xbox as its own operating system that kind of works with the Windows operating system. So they're doing that, and they're focusing a little bit more in the cloud space as well. I wonder if AMD is also going to enter it. What I'm trying to say is Xbox is expanding outside of just the console. It's entering into other markets like cloud. We saw potential of maybe clouding with the TV side. Will Xbox now power some of those servers with AMD as it is kind of making kind of that Xbox operating system, which would most likely be running optimally on a form of AMD chip? If so, um, I think I lost Neil. Oh no, Neil, how did you do that? You were still for like a whole 3 minutes, just not moving or breathing. That was impressive. But it
Felt
does
like an
open up
hour. Felt like an hour.
it, it brings this opportunity for AMD to now have a little bit more steady income coming in from the gaming side, which I think can definitely push things like margins and cash flow to be a little bit more consistent overall through some of these down cycles that we see in the gaming side.
I am still here. I am still here. Um, Martin says, "Whoa, no interest rate cut from the Fed. Did we already? What? How did? How do we get it? I thought that news only comes out at 2 p.m. But well, anyways, I'm not surprised. I'm
Yeah.
more surprised by the fact that the news came out, but I don't
Yeah.
think that the news came out already.
Neil, I got to step out really quick. All right.
No
Be right back.
problemo. Yes, I don't. The probability of a rate cut today is already very small. I think it's close to zero. We will get the the outcome of their meeting of the dot plot and all of that at 2 p.m. Eastern, and the Fed and Jerome Powell will speak at 2:30. So of course there's no cuts today. I think the July meeting or September one are the more likely cut dates, let's call them like that. Going back to Coupang real quick. So $51 billion in market cap, PE trailing of 206, but forward of 70, but it is still expected to grow EPS 75%. So it's not that expensive if it can continue to grow this fast. Revenue wise, that has grown at 17% over the last 3 years, compounded, and forward, that's expected to be 14.2%. So it's an interesting one. The reason why I don't own it is quite simple because I have Amazon and Mercado Libre, and that gives me enough exposure, and Alibaba to the e-commerce world. So yeah, that's my answer. Manuel, there is an email attached to the channel, or send me a DM on X. That's simple. Harry says here, what's up with Intel? It seems to be flat. I should not be surprised. Should not be surprised. Intel is flat. It will be flat until it actually announces something big. Like 18A is now ramping, shipping. We have now 2-3 new customers, and I think the stock will move. But until then, nothing will move. Well, nothing. It will not move much. And at these prices right now, it is basically trading at book value, which means if you sell everything that Intel owns, you'll get the, well, actually you'll get probably more. Actually, you get probably more than $90 billion. So it trading at $20 to me just doesn't make much sense. I'm not willing to add more to my position until they actually show me some positive signs. Because if they show me some positive signs, then I think I'll have time to increase my cash position. PC better than console. I agree that some games are much like shooting games, first person shooter. I think much better on PC. But console, I mean, a PS5, the games and the graphics that you get for what is it now, $500 is crazy. Very, very good value. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. What is your target on PayPal? My target on PayPal is for it to be worth way more than $70 and $69 billion in the future. It might seem crazy, but I think that if they execute correctly and the ads business does become pretty big, I don't see why in the next 5 years they can't revisit $300. But a lot of things, of course, have to go their way for it to happen. I think with the amount of shares that they're buying back, with the growth that they're expecting EPS wise for the long term, plus the ads business, I don't see why they can't reach $300. $300, by the way, with less shares than before. So should be technically easier. Should be easier to reach that. Tekken is an only, yeah, of course there are Xbox only and PS only games out there, so that makes sense. Tekken is a game I haven't played in a while. I think the last Tekken game I played was maybe Tekken. No, I think I did play Tekken 7, but yeah, it's a very, very good game. You can't comment on your ex. When you read this out loud, it's funny. It's my ex. No, because I post on X, previously Twitter, with comments only enabled for verified accounts, because if I don't do that, you have only spam and bots commenting on your posts, and I am pretty sick and tired of bots. So that's the problem. But you could still retweet if you want. What is my X handle? Same as my channel, Couch Investor. Same as the channel, same picture, same everything. Tekken is like FIFA. Tekken is like FIFA, but different because FIFA is football and Tekken is just fighting.
I like that, Neil. Same but different.
Plus, FIFA has become a casino type of game, less about making the gameplay better and more about
Yeah.
making sure you're spending more money on Ultimate Team. But oh well. So Jose, how was
Um,
your reboot?
it was good. I was playing for a little bit. My 2 minutes a month of game time. Um,
Do you think Robotaxi will be launched on the 22nd? That's a very good question. It's 4 days from now. That's a
do
very
you
good
think they're
question.
they're 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 um gonna release that cheaper model?
So far, what they've released is the new S and X, which look exactly the same, but some of the specs have improved. But
Yeah.
other than that,
I was
um,
looking at it. I was looking at it, and then I saw the price, and then I stopped looking at it.
for the S and X, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
th- they are probably, I'd say, the best Teslas, the Tesla models, but
Yeah.
it is very expensive. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Um,
Tesla was down 3.4, but still above $300, so could be worse.
I forgot to answer. I saw this question come out twice. Forgot. Hopefully they're still here. So do you think Marvell can reach 90 to 100 by the end of this year? I think it's possible. I mean, if you see some great movements in the ASIC market, if what they showed on their AI event um, starts to produce some great numbers, even in the late half of this year, I don't see why not. And especially if we start to eliminate some of those Amazon rumors, I think that pushes the stock to around those close to those price points, if not to it. Um, but in the year, I want to say it's all depending on the volatility of the space and what's happening in the overall market at that moment. So um, any macroeconomics push can obviously be negative towards it. So if you give me a little bit longer than by the end of the year, my answer would be yes.
It is quite cheap, right?
Hmm.
Basing myself on the expectations, revenue and EPS.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's all about
Mm.
execution.
Mm,
Um, when you post on X, by the way, do you put it as verified only comments or not?
me, I don't think so,
No.
but I
So
don't know.
Tristan, you can go comment on Jose's post. He allows for bots to populate his comment section.
All day, every day. You should
But
allow
yeah,
it to.
I did until it became unbearable.
Was it
Like
bad?
you see your post and you're like, oh, 10 comments. And you're like, oh, damn, maybe I should respond. And then you look at it, all the 10 comments are literally the same thing. Like, oh, blah, blah,
This
blah, blah, blah.
person is a great
That's,
analysis. Check
no,
him out at
that's only
Telegram.
that's only on YouTube. Elon Musk invested in XAI for 237500.
Mhm.
Um, Adobe. This name pops up quite a lot. You said you're going to talk about it on your channel, right? Because this is probably
Yeah,
one that is now back on your watch list, high up there.
I don't know. It's definitely up there on my list. This is one now, Neil. That I mean, it was down 4 or 5% yesterday. This
Again,
is one where it's not one I'm expecting massive growth opportunity. It's in forms of revenue. It's more of just what I'm seeing is I think it's a mixed price on valuations, um, based on a lot of fear about the AI space, which I don't think is needed for Adobe with what I'm seeing. So I think it's more of a mispricement more than a growth opportunity.
okay, so like a short-term trade-ish type of thing.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, PE ratio. I mean, look, valuations next 12 months. PE ratio of 18.4. That seems wild to me for a company that has that software base, software margins, software free cash flow, and trading at hardware levels. That just doesn't. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Voilà. For more information, go check out his upcoming video whenever that happens. I did run a poll. I'm around Jay Powell will cut 2 times this year. 44% said yes. 55% said niet. Markets opened in 8.5 minutes. The 0.5 was very importante. Grab, is it still under $5? It is still under $5. Interesting.
As well.
Still under 5. Year to date, it's down. 12 months, it's up 33%. Market cap still just under 20 billion. Thoughts on Grab? I mean, I've talked about this a while ago. I know it became very popular. I think after Amit posted about it and talked about it, I think he has a position. I don't know if it's only options or options and straight out shares. I don't own it straight out. I think Jose and myself own it just because Uber has a stake in Grab, and that's about it.
I almost forgot about them. Like, I don't own it.
I know more about your holdings than yourself.
Thank you. That's why I have you around.
Exactly. I have my price alerts set. But no, it's an interesting company for sure. It gets you exposure to that Southeast Asian market. It is expected to grow rapidly. It is growing in different markets. There are other players that are leaving some strategic markets. They might or might not acquire, go to the other, let's call it retail e-commerce company. I don't know what's going to happen, whether they are going to do it or not. If they do, they'll just become stronger in the region. Of course, the stock might be down because they acquire another company, or the market might say, actually, it makes sense, and the stock will go up. But regardless, it is another one of those players where if you want exposure to delivery, e-commerce, fintech type of player in Southeast Asia, then I guess Grab is an option. I guess C Limited might be another option for that market. I just have already for Asia, China specifically, I have Alibaba, plus it gives me that cloud exposure. Then I have LATAM exposure with Mercado Libre, and then Amazon for basically the rest of the planet. So, and I have Uber, so I get my exposure through Uber. Same with ASTS through Alphabet, although it's very, very small compared to what the exposure is through Uber for Grab.
Yeah. Yeah, one I don't follow. I don't know if I want to enter into this market outside of just that Uber exposure, Neo. And to me, Uber's making some great deals. We keep seeing it all over where they're making deals with parts all over the world to kind of increase some of that market share or market opportunities. I think Max was talking about this when we were talking about Adobe. Max mentions I wouldn't burn my hands on it. In my opinion, there are better trades. Max, I'm just trying to confirm if was that based on our my Adobe thoughts. We also have Firefly software should help. I did hear that Adobe yesterday or 2 days ago released kind of an independent generative tool. Haven't you seen how it does or why it works? If it's just completely free, are you able to buy credits? Maybe I might just download the app. Because I think it was a mobile-based application. So once it works, before any, Nicholas, are you buying healthcare stocks, Neo?
The only ones, healthcare, maybe. I mean, the only ones that pop up is, of course, United Health. I'd say United Health, Novo Nordisk, and now Oscar. Oscar is probably the one where I might just pull the trigger and put it in the speculative basket. Because market cap, it's quite low, $4.1 billion, trailing PE 32, forward PE 32, expected to grow EPS 244% forward 2 years. Margins are improving. The current Senate bill was not as bad as previously feared, and so that should help Oscar. I explained everything in yesterday's video, so everyone that's watching and interested, go watch that. So this might be one just because it is a small company still that is playing in a huge market. And although the stock is up tremendously in the last 3 years, it's up 270% or so and up 400 since the lows 2023. it is an interesting one. And there's another company I'm also planning on making a video about, also a very small company, but with that is not cheap and is expected to grow rapidly. So stay tuned for that. And of course, again, if you want to support this nice stream, there is a link for Fiscal AI, previously FinChat, fiscal.ai/breakfast. You'll get 15% off, and new users will get Fiscal AI for free, Pro for free for the next 2 weeks. So
Yeah, no credit
do
cards
check
needed, which
them
I think
out.
is awesome.
Exacto mundo. 3 minutes until the market opens.
Yeah.
So
In healthcare, Neil, I think the only one I wouldn't mind looking into more smaller base that are using form of AI solutions and not have not run up as crazy. I think the most popular is Tempest, but that one's been uh just running like no tomorrow. The only I do own RXRX, but it's a very very small, super small speculative play position. Just because I see they are doing some things with Nvidia, so don't know too much about it. But sometimes that excitement with Nvidia gives me, hey, look, small cap with Nvidia exposure. Why not do a very small speculative play?
yeah,
Um,
RX. Let's see.
Then we have here, Martin, do you guys have any predictions on CoreWeave and Circle Internet? I think with valuation on CoreWeave, even though I do own, it's scary in forms of where we're at. $171. When did we get there? I thought we were at 150. Um, Got to look at my portfolio. But I would say I'm definitely not buying at these levels, and I'm going to continue to dollar cost out of it. I think there is somewhat of a bubble with CoreWeave. The real question is not are we in a bubble, is when the bubble is going to pop, and the bubble could keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and this stock can reach massive levels, especially since it's such a small. There's not a lot of shares out there for CoreWeave. That's another thing that helps out this company a lot. It's internally still owned a lot by CoreWeave itself, or the initial original investors. Not much went public. So until maybe we start to see the company dish out some shares, I think we might continue to see this rally up. But I think there's just too much risk for me to ever do it. Bubble trouble.
Exactly.
Looks
We
like a
are
pretty cool game.
bubble trouble. You don't know bubble trouble?
No, no, Neil, never heard of it.
Yeah, we are in a bubble type of trouble for some AI names, I'd say. Man, bubble trouble. This is a classic online game. Classic, Jose. You better educate yourself before you wreck yourself. This is a new T-shirt. New T-shirt
Um,
idea. And then Circle is the stable coin.
yeah.
USDC one also went crazy. Went public at 60s. Now it's at
Hey, market is open. Come on, Neil. You slacking?
no, but I always have to refresh anyways. So
So wait and see, right, Martin? I don't know. This is hard. I think it's hard to say this because if I was to say wait and see, the stock I mentioned can still continue to rally, and then you come back to me, Martin, and say, hey, you told me wait and see. So it's gonna be. I wouldn't buy at these levels. I think the risk to reward is not in my favor. It's what I'm saying.
for CoreWeave,
I don't know for Circle.
but for CoreWeave, you already have your position,
Yeah, but
so it
even if I
doesn't.
didn't, I wouldn't buy at these levels. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I
it makes
if I
sense.
didn't have a position, I wouldn't buy at these levels
Yeah, no, it makes
just
sense.
because the risk to reward is not there for me.
So the market is open, and well, it seems like every single day we have the same thing. Nothing, basically, nothing very
I think
wow.
today is going to be a lot of nothing because of the
Yeah, until the last couple
Fed.
of hours. Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of nothing. Today should be the nothing stream.
Palantir is
Breaking
down
news, nothing.
2.7. Exactly. Palantir is down. That's the breaking news by 2.2%. So we are now only at $139.
What is
I think
AMD at? I see a little bit green there.
AMD 128.
Very
AMD is at
nice. Very
100,
nice.
128. Netflix is up. Wow, Netflix is at $1,200. Crazy.
Marvell's up 6%.
This is your doing.
It is. Can we talk bad about it? Just kidding.
Um,
What else
let's
do we
see.
have? Credo, Navitas. Navitas is back at $7, it seems. Wolf is still trading. I don't know what's going on with that one, Neil. We hear it's bankrupt, but it's still trading. It hasn't given us an answer. Our investors, insiders, just trying to lay off as much as they can.
HIMS is up 4%. I think they announced something, or they are going to announce a new product today. ASTS is up another 5% today to now $42. Other than that,
Yeah, other than that, it's a pretty quiet morning open. Nothing too crazy in stocks I follow minus Marvell.
yeah, no, nothing crazy. I think the market, yeah, is just waiting for the Fed meeting, the dot plot, seeing if Jérôme is going to screw us over later today or not. We'll see. We'll see. According to the poll that I did, what is it, 2 days ago, a day ago, most of the people think it should be fine. I said it's going to go down, so I guess I will win regardless.
I see. I did you a solid, Neil. Now you win regardless.
Yeah, because if it goes down, then I'm correct. If it goes up, then I make money. It's the perfect coin flip. Uber. Is Uber up? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw about 1%. I don't know if it corrected itself.
Yeah. Remember the comments like, oh, stock X is plummeting or whatever, and then we look at it and it's down 0.2%. 0.2%. Thoughts on D local? $10. Same as before. I like it. Sub $3 billion company, growing fast, no debt, profitable. What is not to like? What is not to like? Should be a $30 stock. You heard it here first. Breaking news.
Which one?
D local.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say.
With that, Tempus is down 2.6%. So this is also your doing.
What did I say about Tempest? Did I say something bad?
You said you were interested maybe in that, but it ran up too much attention, etc., etc.
So it's giving me the opportunity. Okay, I see what you mean. All right, Neil. I think it's a
Yeah.
great way to close out this breaking news day of this. Is
The breaking news day of no breaking news, just news.
all in on T local. Hashtag couch my financial advisor. I agree. Blame couch.
But a financial advisor that doesn't make any money off your gains, but gets all the blame
Blame.
off your
That's
pain.
exactly how it works. It works here.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. So to end this breakfast stream, I think it's the last one of the week, right? Unless
Yeah, it's the
something
last one of the
crazy
week. Yeah,
happens,
unless something
but
crazy
I don't think
happens.
we will be live
Yeah.
tomorrow
No, I'll be in
or
Toronto.
Friday.
So if
You're
anybody's
going
on
to
Toronto,
the 51st state. I see.
yeah, 51st date. Gonna go see Fiscal AI headquarters.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, that's all we've got for you right now. We'll be back on Monday unless something changes. But if not, we are back on Monday, and we're probably going to release some videos anyways on our
On
stream.
channel. Yeah.
So on our channel, stream, whatever. So thank you all for joining. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next week. Peace.